All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So we got a big day today because I got 4 stories for you guys, all of which are very solid topics. First, I am going to talk about in this video, Alex Pereira's comeback, a video that no one else has. No one. This is my video that I took personally that has a huge impact on this fight with Jan Blachowicz that I had not even thought about until just this morning, and what it may mean in relation to his ability to win this fight, because he got knocked out stone cold at UFC 287. I want to talk about the amount of time that he's taken off, but I need to show you the video so you understand what level of knockout this was. Now, some of you guys who have seen, been watching me for a long time, you may have seen the video where I shared this the first time, and in which case you can all testify in the comments that this is worth waiting to see, because this was not a normal knockout, okay? I personally was cage side, and I recorded the full thing of his recovery after the knockout, and it is crazy. It's one of the, and the point being is, like, did he have a long enough layoff to recover from this? Because this was not like a regular knockout. And so I'm going to show you that, and then and we're going to talk about it. I also am going to talk about 3 other things today. So we're going to talk about Jorge Masvidal potentially coming back against Ben Askren, because they have been chirping back and forth at each other now. They both say they want to come back. So I'll show you that article, and we'll talk about that. That's what we're going to do, those 2 in this video. And on a subsequent video that I'm going to put out, we're going to talk about LeBron James's kid who had a cardiac arrest while working out at USC. He's in stable condition. A lot of people are speculating on what the cause of that might have been, him coming to a college that may or may not have required certain things. But I actually did some research into the campus requirements, and I'll share those findings with you guys, and we can talk about that. And then what was the other thing? There's something else I was going to talk about that I am now all of a sudden blanking on. Oh yeah. John Jones and Tom Aspinall have escalated. Their beef has escalated. All right. Now they're actually chirping back and forth at each other. Interesting to see what they said and whether or not this is actually going to lead to John Jones hanging around if he beats Stipe. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. I'm really curious. I'm very curious about this. And obviously, we'll save this for the other video. But given the timing around Luke Thomas's video where he talked about the what he got wrong in the pandemic yesterday, it'll be I'm very personally very curious how he will interpret this Bronny James story. Just because, I don't know. I don't know what kind of where he's at on his progression of kind of like, oh, they really did lie to us about everything. And once you realize that, then you start looking at these other things that have been, all you have to do is just go watch these really credible people on Rogan, and just be like, oh, well, they talked about this. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to talk about that in that video also. So go check that out. Check that out also. So go ahead and like the video if you don't mind. If you don't, like this video, it helps with the algorithm. Comment on the video. I love you guys. Subscribe if you haven't yet. You guys are the best. And let's rock and roll. All right, so let's start with the video that I was talking about, Alex Pereira. All right. So again, I just want to stress the hypothesis that I'm making here is that something going into this Jan Blachowicz fight that people are not considering is Alex Pereira, in April, May, June, July, 3 months ago, took one of the most hellacious knockouts that I've ever seen. And I always talk about this because I go to so many events, right? Like, in 2022, I went to 8 events, 8 live UFCs. This year's been a little bit slower. We've gone to 2, and then we're going Jake Paul and versus Diaz in a couple weeks, and then we'll probably do some more later in the year. But I always talk about this is like one thing that you never see on the broadcasts is you never really get to see how wrecked these guys are after certain knockouts. Okay. Like it's legit scary. If you're up really close, which we are a lot of the time, you really are watching, it's like they do a very good job in the broadcast of not showing you how nuclearized these guys are after the fight, because it's just, I don't know, like, you want to see the fight, that the fight has dire consequences for mistakes. And sometimes you kind of get to see just due to what the winner does, because they focus so heavily on the winner. Like, as an example, like the story we're going to talk about after this, when Masvidal knocked out Askren, and then he laid down, he did the thing, and then he laid down next to him and he tapped him out, and all that. So where you actually really got to see how stone out he was, but you still didn't really get to see it like if you're watching him consistently like I'm going to show you here. So again, do you guys think that 3 months off is enough? And we're not talking just 3 months off or whatever. It's like, dude, 3 months off before he's fighting against another top contender at a higher weight class. You know what I mean? Like, we're not just like 3 months off before he really starts sparring hard. We're talking 3 months off before he's fighting at full throttle against a guy who has decapitated guys. You know, the reason I thought of this is because that's exactly what Daniel Cormier said. He said he needs to be really careful around Jan. I've seen him almost decapitate guys. Like, think about the shot that he hit Luke Rockhold with. So let's watch this thing, and then you guys tell me if you think I'm, exaggerating, like that this maybe is not enough time to have waited. I took this video myself. This is where our seats were. And by the way, this was a while. Like, it took him a good, I don't even know, probably 2 minutes before he woke up. All right. So this is 2 minutes after he initially got knocked out. And then we were watching Izzy, and then they started to get him up, and I just was like, oh my God, film. See, look, like, you see in the back, you see Izzy, like, just 1 second ago walk by. Like, this should indicate how long had passed by this time. Like, look at Izzy walk by in the back. Like, he's not even excited anymore. He's already celebrated. Now he's just chilling. Like, this is a while after the knockout, dude. He has no idea where he is. He can't get up on his own. They lift him into the chair. This happened 3 months ago. This happened 3 months ago, dude. Look at that. He's like, he's being held up, dude. He can't even stand up. So anyway, you get the idea, dude. Whoops. So, listen, man. The bottom line, and I want you to think about something else too. Is he going to be able to absorb a shot that he takes? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that his chin is gone. I'm not saying that he's like perma, like his chin is perma nuclearized now, but it might be. But more than that, it's just like, I mean, listen, dude, the UFC is going to put on the fights that people are going to buy. The UFC is not in the business of potentially, of making the best decisions to protect their fighters, obviously. And I don't mean that as a shot at the UFC at all. I just mean the UFC is going to put on fights. If a fighter says, I'm ready, they're going to put them in there, Now, Dana has demonstrated throughout the career that he does, like, there are certainly times where it's like obvious that someone is not taking care of themselves, and he'll be like, look, dude, you need more time off, bottom line. Or even sometimes he forces retirement on people. And I respect that a lot. But like this, a guy's first knockout, if he's like, yeah, I'm ready to go, 3 months, they'll put him in there. And candidly, I don't think this is a good idea, dude. I don't know how I hadn't even thought about this. It's actually bizarre to me that this had never even crossed my mind, because I was literally there and I saw this, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just didn't even think about it. I mean, seriously, a knockout like that, if you really want to make sure that he heals, especially the first time he's ever been starched like that, I mean, the likelihood that it's going to have a severe impact is low, as long as you take enough time to let your body heal, and err on the side of caution, in my opinion. Err on the side of caution. coming back and fighting up a weight class 3 months later is not erring on the side of caution at all. That's erring on the side of not respecting the potential damage that you took in that fight, you know? Bottom line. Now, I will say, though, one thing I will say, though, and this might be nonsense because I have absolutely no medical backing on this. I'm just purely speculating based on my understanding of the human body. If I was to speculate on what type of knockout is likely to have a bigger lasting impact on your ability to absorb shots in the future, a temple shot or a jaw shot, I think a jaw shot is much more likely to have actual lasting impact on your ability to absorb punishment. And the only reason I say that is because of the mechanism where it's like, you know, you get here, and it's like it shifts your jaw. It hits that back of the spine thing that shuts your lights off. Where if you get hit here, you know, I just, again, I like, it doesn't seem like this would leave like damage, like actual like scar tissue type damage from a shot. And again, I am just talking nonsense. I have absolutely no idea if what I'm saying makes sense, but I don't know. I mean, but again, am I in outer space here? Am I in outer space to think that, you know, like that this person right here should, you know, that this guy right here should not be fighting against Jan Blachowicz at 205 3 months after this? Am I like, is that just me? You know what I mean? It seems obvious to me. But again, you know, if he ends up getting, oh yeah, one point I also wanted to make is, remember Stipe against DC the first time, right? Now now all credit to DC. He called exactly how he was going to win that fight. If you guys have seen that clip, he's like, you know, he's all, Stipe, better keep your hands up on the brake, bro. Keep your hands up on the brake. And then he goes up, and how does he knock him out? Stipe on the brake, has his hands down. DC is waiting for that. He hits him with a shot that he doesn't see, and he goes unconscious. Now, that said, everybody has been speculating that the reason why he took that shot and went down is because he took so much punishment in the Francis Ngannou fight. Now, the memory of the Francis Ngannou fight against Stipe tends to only be that of Stipe wrestle fucked him for 5 rounds, right? Which is true, but he took some hellacious shots in that fight. And if people need a refresher, especially if I remember in the 4th round, there was a shot that Francis hit him with that was like, damn, because I just remember being like, wow, like he's exhausted. He's been on his back this whole fight, and still, as soon as he gets up, if that shot, that's a knockout shot still. Like Stipe's still not out of the woods. You know, most people, even knockout artists, you get on top of them for 3.5 rounds. It's like when they get up, they don't have a shot that they can just clip you with that'll put you out in a second if they're that tired. Francis, I remember just being like, Francis is a different animal. So, yeah, I mean, so maybe, you know, Stipe got knocked out by DC with that. Maybe, I don't know, dude. If Jan wins by knockout, I just think that this will be very notable. All right, so now switching gears, let's talk about this. Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren story, right? So here's the thing, right? Jorge Masvidal, Ben Askren don't particularly like one another. Yeah. So bottom line is this, dude. I mean, just the long and short of this story is that Jorge Masvidal said he would come out of retirement to fight Ben Askren. And he said that he wanted to do it in boxing, right? He said he wanted to do it in boxing because he wanted to make it more fair. Because obviously, you know, he says, I don't plan on fighting anybody anytime soon, but maybe like a boxing match. I'd come out just to smack Nate Diaz up later in my life. Maybe Jake Paul in the future. I don't know, but as of right now, I'm just doing my promoting. I heard Ben Askren said he'd come out of retirement to fight me. I was like, dude, this guy, he wanted MMA but for his sake, I'll do boxing so I can't knee him in the face. It's illegal. Duh. Come on, man. And so he's saying like, you know, like he's saying he doesn't want to do MMA because he wants to protect him from the knee, which is hilarious because Ben Askren obviously, like Ben Askren's not winning a boxing match against anyone. Certainly, well, I mean, not anyone who's like competent as a boxer. And obviously everybody knows that. And so it's kind of like I don't know, like the call outs doesn't seem like it's like real. So he says, hey, Ben, I'll beat your ass with both hands behind my back. Ben's so bad at boxing. He's the one that said it. Look, Ben, I'll give you the rematch in boxing. People will tune in because I can't knee you in the face, right? Maybe Ben can get his way now. Hey, Ben, kiss my ass. You coming out of retirement. I'll send you right back into it. This guy, bro, they shouldn't have shown me that comment, this corny mofo. So, and then Ben showed him a text message chain between him and Dana, and he said, I'm in. I'll do a rematch against George, but in MMA. So, I mean, that is what it is, dude. Askren versus George in MMA is on the table. What do you guys think? You guys think that that fight could happen? I'm skeptical only because I don't know. I like Dana. I'm trying to, like, historically, Dana lets guys come out of, like, he doesn't love that, like, come out of retirement for one fight thing. Like, I can't really think of many times they've done that. I think of, like, Hoist Gracie against Matt Hughes, and that's, like, a totally different era, right? I remember watching that at my buddy's house in Vegas. I think it was, like, 2006, maybe. Like that's, I think it was 2006 when that fight happened. So you're talking 17 years ago or whatever. Is that right? 2006? Yeah, like 17 years ago. So, like, I doubt that they would put that fight together, but maybe, maybe. And this time it's like George is like, look, I did, going into the Burns fight, I didn't know for sure it was going to be a retirement fight. This is my retirement fight, and I want to do it against Askren. Askren's like, yeah, I want to get that one back. Maybe they would do it. I mean, I would buy it, obviously. I would do it. But, I think that fight in MMA is probably scary to Masvidal just because, he's had a hard time with wrestlers, in his last few fights. And Askren is obviously, if he gets a hold of people, historically, he's been successful in basically every fight. The only time he, got into a grappling exchange with someone which led to was against Damian Maia, and they stood in front of each other and struck the whole time. And then when they ended up on the thing, Maia took his back and strangled him. But, like, that's Damian Maia, right? That's Damian Maia. Where, I mean, look, dude, it's not like George has no grappling. It's just like, I don't know, though, dude. Askren's ability to take that fight to the ground might be challenging. I don't know, whatever. I don't know. The bottom line is, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think that fight might actually happen? But that's pretty much what I got for this video. Like I said, I'm going to do 2 more videos right now. I'm going to talk about the LeBron James's son situation, which is really scary and not ideal. And then I'm going to talk about this John Jones and Tom Aspinall thing escalating, because we might actually get a fight out of that thing, maybe. So that's what I got. If you guys have watched this long and haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you did. I love you guys for everything. Later.